Hello folks at Modulus. So I'm back for the first update for this USS Enterprise CVN-65 1350 scale from Mini Hobby Model. So I've been doing a lot of cleaning and testing of the parts. So let me just, there's a lot of things going on here. So let me just start with this bottom hull here. So I've cleaned up the entire hull, sand the entire thing, and also I have opened up two holes here, which is for the rudder blades. So I didn't realize, but this ship has 4 rudder blades, and in the instruction sheet it doesn't indicate to drill a hole. But I realized that it is probably from this boss here, so I've drilled it. And yeah, cleaning was took a long time to do this. And okay, the difference between this kit and Tamiya's kit, again, I would like to mention about Tamiya's kit, is that these stabilizer blades for this kit, it's separate. I have already stick them here, but the Tamiya's kit actually have these stabilizers blade molded into the bottom hull. And in fact, for Tamiya kit, the bottom hull and this entire hull is actually a single piece. So those are the difference between the two kits. And then on the deck, I have been doing a few things. Let me just show you this piece here. So this is the back deck. So I have cleaned up the entire deck. I have sanded down all the raised lines. And for these holes, I think it's the rope to tie the planes. I have drilled the entire holes, because the original on the kit looks like that. It has a raised line in circle, and these are actually pretty big. So when I've checked the Kitty Hawk, the holes are much smaller. So I've drilled with, I think this is like 0 point something. I can't remember the size. But I just, just do some like drilling just like that, just to drill out a little bit. And sometimes I drill through the hole because I think these decks are quite thin. So yeah, maybe I have to cover them up. If I do put LED into the hull, the hangar interior bay, probably the light will come out from these holes. But again, these holes are really small, so I'm not so sure. So once I've drilled these holes, I will sand down the entire deck, which is not easy to do. And these raised lines here, sometimes I have to scrape them off because it's really high up. So if I sand, I will sand the entire area, and sometimes it gets too thin on the deck. So this one is the sand off deck, and if you look at these areas here, so after I sand it, it will look like that. So this means that it is actually on this circle here. It's like a sink mark. That means it's actually lower than this surface. That's why when I sand, it's not sanding that area there. But I don't want to sand off too much. And also for these decks, bottom side has to be cleaned out. Lots and lots of ejector pin marks which I've cleaned. Some are still looks, you know, rough, and it's really difficult to get the sandpaper in there, in between those ribs. And same goes for all these edges here. There were a lot of ejector pin marks which I have cleaned them out. And okay, so I have already placed this onto the hull to see where are the visible areas. So I've drawn a line with a marker. So maybe this surface will be visible after the hull is like sitting like that. So these areas will have to be cleaned off because it will be a visible area. But for the rest of these inner areas will not be seen. But sometimes these ejector pin holes might cause some interference with the, you know, with the part that is gonna go in there. So I do have to sand it down, else it will be bad for the fitting. So this one I have done it. This one I'm still like halfway through it, and then and this front deck is also halfway. Some holes are drilled, some are not. So this one I have not cleaned up the ejector pin marks yet. I think some areas have been cleaned up. So I've been you know, sort of moving around here and there on every parts just to, you know, do trial and error things. And then I have also cut up a lot of these parts just to check fittings, etc. So on this one here, there was one piece that I tried to clean the ejector pin marks, but of course I cannot clean everything. So one way to eliminate this visually is to place plastic cards into these slots so that, you know, these ejector pin marks will not be seen. But maybe I'm not too concerned about it because it's going to be sitting like that and it's really difficult to see the bottom. And these engraved things, I have tried to sand it just to do a little bit of testing because it's really raised up high. And for these elevator decks here, I did notice there is a difference between this kit and the Tamiya's kit, because for the Tamiya's kit, they have the bottom. This is the Tamiya's instruction manual. They have the bottom piece and the top piece separate. And for mini hobby model, it's molded together. Another cost-saving method for mini hobby model, I believe. So these the decks here are, yeah, like just a single piece. And yeah, so only this piece have two piece and the rest are all single piece. So yeah, I've been trying to do a lot of things, cleaning, and I've noticed that out of all these parts that I have cut out, sanded, all the surface have to be sanded because it's not really flat. And okay, I can't show you something which is not sanded yet. And you know, because these parts will actually fit into the deck area, I believe it's somewhere around like that. So I have already tried putting the hull and then putting this. Initially it was tight, so I have to sand it off, then it fits much better. So it's gonna be sitting, there's three pieces of this sitting there like that. So yeah, for this kit, everything has to be sanded. All the surface area that connects to somewhere has to be sanded, cleaned up, because it's not flat at all. Let me just, okay, for example, like here, this one has not been sanded, so it's not really flat. And when you sand it, you will know that it's not flat. You will see a lot of like sink marks on these kind of parts. So lots of sanding, and you know, sanding gets all the dust out, so I don't really enjoy it too much, but it has to be done. And okay, these plastics are actually those soft kind of plastic, bit rubbery kind of plastic. So it's not the brittle type. I think it's more ductile. And you know, the moment when you start sanding this, you will get a lot of these hairline kind of dust on the edges. So it doesn't remove the plastic easily by using sandpaper. So it is difficult to sand. So like here, there was ejector pin marks. I've sanded this. I've tried to cut these ribs to make it look thinner. And I've also test fitted this. So yeah, basically everything has to be, you know, test fitted. All the sponsons that on, you know, the deck. So these will all have to be like, I have to try to fit onto the main hull to check the fittings. Actually, quite surprisingly, the fittings are pretty nice. It's just that the surface has to be sanded off first. Then I got these hangar bay doors cut up. Okay, so all these doors are closed, so I'm gonna have to, I cut this one open and sanded. Yeah, so the way I did it was just drill through the holes all along the edges, then cut them and clean them off, because I'm gonna do it open. And I will try to do the interior hangar bay by scratch build, just like what I did with the Kitty Hawk. And since I do have some experience with Kitty Hawk, I think it shouldn't be so difficult. And there's a lot of reference material for the hangar, the inner hangar bay on the web, so not so difficult to find how it is designed. So here is just parts with, okay, like these sponsons. I have assembled this. But before other parts goes on it, I will have to clean up these edges here. There is a gap, so all this will be have to putty sanded. Then I will attach it to the hull. And this time I'm not going to be attaching the railings first, just, you know, as what I did with the Kitty Hawk, because I do want to assemble to the hull, because I know there will be gaps and cleanings on the, when it's attached to the hull. So yeah, a lot of cleaning. And so okay, this piece is the piece that I have cut out from this door here. So you can see all the, I drilled it and then cut it. But I wrote the number here, but now, okay. But not so difficult to identify, because these are all different. It does have some angle, so you're easy to identify it. But you know, it'll be good to write down the numbers so that you don't get lost because there are too many parts being cut out. So I wrote the part numbers in each of the parts. So yeah, still a lot of cleaning up to do. And I have also tested these sheet metal bending plates to the hull. Fits okay. There's not really a big problem fitting these things there. Okay, I'm not sure this one goes to where. Not here. Okay, so I think this is for this part here. So if you will have to like slightly pull the hull out and fit this. So it's gonna look like that. But I will have to add this later because I'm gonna build the interior hangar bay. So this will probably come after all the interior hangar bay has been fitted. So yeah, tested that, and also I have tested to put the rotor shafts into the here, and I will super glue these because I'm not gonna be putting the motors into this ship. So later I will have to put the supports, but I will do this after I have attached this bottom hull to the main hull, because if everything is hanging out here, it's gonna be difficult to press, and you know it's gonna break a lot of things. So this will be fitted to the. I think now it fits pretty nicely. I've done more and more cleaning and sanding to both of these parts. Let me just move it here. So yeah, so if I just press it, it's gonna fit. But I think the front and the back is slightly floating out, floating, you know, this way. So once I glue them, I have to press on both of these ends here to hold it in. So this is gonna be a challenge to glue this, and I intend to use super glue, but super glue dries really fast. So yeah, that will be the hull. And for this thing here, the big upper hull, I will have to cut out a hole so that the LED lights can escape somewhere, come out through the bottom of the hull. Same way, you know, with the Kitty Hawk. I have also tested these this back plate over here. I can't seem to find that piece in here. But I know it's somewhere here. So that piece I have fitted. There is some gaps, but I think can be closed up. Not so bad. And these will be sitting like that. So fits okay. So I'm gonna, you know, continue working on cleaning up the entire deck first. I think the shafts dropped. Okay, and also I've been watching a lot of other Tamiya builds videos on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of people when they attach these decks together. I mean, they have done a very good job on all the aircrafts, everything. But the weird thing was they did not clean up this line. So this line was like so visible. And I have also seen people painting the entire deck, painting the landing strip. Really nice. But they have done it in separately. So I don't know how, you know, when they attach this, how they're gonna clean this entire line up. So maybe they don't care, they leave the line there. So if that's the way, you can paint all these separately, which is much easier because it'll be smaller in size. But for me, I will you know, attach, glue this, clean this, then paint the entire deck or use decals. And I've already test fitted this onto the hull, and I put in screws in the, so there are covers for these screws, so not bad. It will cover up the screws. I have filled this switch hole here with plastic cuts, but still not so cleaned up. And I'm sorry, I'm just jumping around everywhere, whatever I notice, what I have done. Okay, so this screw was it was protruding out from this surface here. So I had to file that screw head, lower so that it will go into the hole. Then I putted this screw here, because this one is visible. The sponson is sitting here, but this area will be visible. So if you have the screw there, that screw will be seen. But for this side, this will be covered by the sponson here. So this is safe. I didn't do anything to it. And I did take out the screws, took this entire piece out, just to see what's the fitting like. And then I did clean out a bit, again, then I fit it back in, screw back. I have not glued this, but later maybe I might apply, super glue all around just to enhance the fixture. And then here I have putted this line. This line was, it was quite bad. So I had to clean that up. And same goes on this side. I hope when I primer this, I don't see that line anymore. Okay, what else? Done sanding on all these surface. Basically, all the edges that needs to stick to some other parts have to be sand, just to make the fits better. So yeah, so I've been busy with this thing, but still a very long way to go. Okay, I need to decide whether I'm gonna be cutting these nets out, because if I'm gonna get photo edge, I will have to cut this out, and I do not want to cut this out when it's attached onto the hull. So I will have to decide quick. And I've seen a lot of people, they put in railings everywhere, nice, a lot of photo edge on the island, but they left this as a plastic. So don't quite understand their plan. But for me, all these visible things on the deck, especially on the deck island, that's where I want to put a lot of photo edge, because it's the most visible area. And I'm quite an aesthetic person, so anything that doesn't look good, I would want to change it. Yeah, so been looking at a lot of photo edge things, but I still haven't decided which one I'm gonna be getting. It's very expensive. That's the thing that discourages me. Okay, so this kit, actually these things here, yeah, they're very thick, because when I look at the Kitty Hawk, it's really thin. So again, 1984 design, can't do much about this, and I'm not gonna be shaving off all these edges here. So this will probably be like that. Okay, so I think this video is getting long. Okay, so another thing about these decks, I cannot like glue them together like this, paint it, clean up, paint it, then attach to the hull, because there is one section here. I think this last piece here, these two tabs here will actually go in, slide into this thing here. So it will slide in like that. So there's no way I can attach these glue this up first, then attach it to the hull. So I was planning to to glue this 3-piece up like this because it will be easier to work with it. Of course, it's a bit flimsy. I thought I could just enhance this, just put additional plastics, maybe even screw it, enhance it so that it doesn't become too flimsy. But then I found out about this, so I will have to attach everything to the hull, then clean this big partition line and paint the deck. So it's going to be very different from the way I worked with the Kitty Hawk. Kitty Hawk was nice, entire deck was in one piece. I can just paint that up nicely, then attach it to the hull. But it's not going to work like that for this kit. So all these checking things, how it goes, where it goes, I guess it's needed for this kit. So I'm not following instructions step by step. I'm just cutting out parts as I see what needs to be checked. That's how this kit will be built, I suppose. So know the video is getting long, so I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna stop here. So this is all the update I have for now, and I will be back with more information and updates once I learn more about this kit. So until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe or give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back for more. So happy modeling, and cheers for now. Goodbye.